What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Jake Shavink here, and today, Packers fans, we are talking about a very, very good player on the Green Bay Packers offensive line. That is your 2019 All-Rookie, 2020 Pro Bowl guard, Elgton Jenkins. And I do say guard, but we're going to explore in this video why he may not be a guard much longer, maybe beyond this season. We're going to talk about where Elgton Jenkins should play long-term, whether it be, guard or tackle. Obviously, we could talk about center, but we've talked about that in a previous video, and I broke down why Jenkins could be a good center. Obviously, the Packers went a different direction, and they selected Josh Myers in the second round of the draft this past spring. So I think that's obviously off the table, but having a guy like Elgton Jenkins who can play a lot of different positions is great. He's played a snap at every position on the offensive line. He's got one snap at right guard, and it's a kneel down, but I think it counts. Obviously, filled in for Corey Linsley against Chicago and Indianapolis at center and played 3 more games after that at center as well in this past season. He's gotten reps at both tackle spots as well. So, he can do it all, and he has the traits to do it all. He's a very good athlete. Maybe not the best athlete for the center position as Corey Linsley was for the type of scheme the Packers run with a lot of zone concepts and really having to explode and get out into space. But I think he's a fluid athlete nonetheless. Good foot quickness. He's got active and well-placed hands, and he's got a great anchor. He's going to be able to process very well on the outside of tackle, and he has shown that. So when we talk about Elgton Jenkins, there's really 2 options, I think, when it comes to where he plays long-term. And part of that goes into, how the Packers are looking financially for next year. And there, you could see a lot of cuts, and it could be all over the place. You're talking about the Smith brothers, Amos, Billy Turner, who again has one of the tackle spots right now. Potentially, sounds like maybe Dennis Kelly's going to take that spot, and Turner may move into right guard. We'll see. But again, the Packers have a lot of depth at tackle. At least they added some. Maybe Royce Newman isn't a tackle. We'll see. But that they feel better with their depth than last year, and I think that's fair to say. So again, I think right now the Packers look good, but again, long term, going to have to shed a lot of these contracts. Obviously, Rodgers and Adams will probably potentially both be off their books by next offseason, so we'll see about that. But yeah, I mean, when you look at this, they want to prioritize 2 extensions. It's Jair Alexander and it's Elgton Jenkins for sure going forward. So that's something to watch for. And for Elgton Jenkins, is he going to be paid, the money that he should be out there at tackle? That's something to explore. So really, there are 2 options, it seems like. Is you're going to put him out there at tackle. You're going to have him and Bakhtiari play the tackle spots, presumably for Jordan Love to step in and feel like you're comfortable with those 2 protecting the blind side. You have your center position locked down, hopefully, in Josh Myers, the 3 most important positions on the line. So if you do that, you have Jenkins out there at tackle, and you hope that you've drafted enough players here to find 2 guys who can lock down the guard spots, whether it be John Runyon, Newman, Cole Van Lanen. We'll see Dietzen, who they seem to like. They brought him as a UDFA in camp. Ben Braden, Lucas Patrick. They do have a lot of guys to play on the interior, which is good. But the one maybe wrinkle is LaFleur has praised the versatility of Jenkins. So obviously, the pros to playing him at tackle is you feel like you have your tackle spots locked down, and you feel like you have enough depth to find the cream of the crop on the interior. But now shifting back over to why he could play guard long-term is, like I said, LaFleur has praised the versatility of Jenkins. And he's talked about, he could probably play tight end, which Jenkins responded, yeah, I could probably take a screen 20 or 30 yards, run a corner out for a score, do everything like that. And I think that plays into the kind of athlete he is. So again, an athlete like that, probably maybe best suited for tackle. And I think he'd do great out there. But the advantage to playing him at guard is that you feel like he can fill in wherever you need him to. Obviously, it sounds like there's a chance he fills in for Bakhtiari. If Bakhtiari's not ready to start the season, he might start at left tackle. Then obviously, as he goes throughout the year when Bakhtiari comes back, he's able to play left guard and really help out Josh Myers, who's, this is a steep learning curve for any rookie, really. I know a lot of rookies succeed nowadays early on, but it's still difficult to transition. And Josh Myers will have to make that transition quickly. Having a guy like Jenkins next to him is huge. So, but again, kind of getting off track, but back to it is you have a guy like Jenkins who can stay at guard, potentially long-term when you re-sign him, which I hope they do. And, if tackle goes down, if Bakhtiari goes down again, he can move out there to left tackle. If Josh Myers would get hurt, obviously Lucas Patrick, we've talked about, he could probably play center, but Jenkins can slide in there too. Jenkins could slide in over to right tackle if needed be. So the options that they have to put their best five out there when Jenkins is at guard is still why, the question is, where do they play him long term? And that's a big question. And it's not the easiest to answer, but I'm going to try to, of course. So, looking at those pros and cons, obviously, the guard, him staying at guard probably relies on the Packers addressing tackle this next offseason in the draft, potentially. And there's some guys, and we'll probably get to that way down the line, but there's a chance they address that position. And what that would mean is, and they probably will throughout the draft, I should say as well, before I make the final point here, they probably will throughout the draft. And that's something that the Packers have done. And you see they value tackle experience no matter where they end up playing on the offensive line. So that's something the Packers probably will still do, as of course we're going to get a young quarterback potentially in Love coming out next season. So again, there's a lot of options, but really for me, I think it comes down to what position matters more, really, of course, and tackle matters more. And having two guys out there you can trust to handle these elite pass rushers that are coming at you every week. When we talk about the NFC, there's a lot of talent on the edge. Washington with Sweat and Young. Wow. You got Bosa out there in San Francisco. You got guys like Dunlap, who's still doing well in Seattle. He did pretty well this past season. Khalil Mack, obviously. I feel like Daniel Hunter will be back. So there's a lot of guys in the NFC that are dangerous playmakers. Obviously, Tampa Bay not going anywhere. Shaq Barrett, Jason Pierre-Paul, Joe Tryon potentially in the future. So I think playing Elgton Jenkins at tackle is a smart move, and paying him like a franchise tackle makes perfect sense. You don't too often get two elite tackles on the outside like Bakhtiari and Jenkins potentially. New Orleans Saints come to mind with Armstead and Ramczyk, but I think that's the better option. But I wouldn't dismiss the idea of still playing him at guard and having him fill in. So I think that's something LaFleur and Goody will really have to talk about this next offseason, where they want to play Jenkins. Like I said, I think it makes more sense to play him at tackle, but I get the understanding of wanting to keep him at guard and fill in where he needs to, because he's just that good of a player to be able to move out around everywhere, and pigeonholing him to one spot. Obviously, at tackle, he could move over if he needs to from right to left and feel pretty confident about that. But, having him move over to center, having him do all these things, it's still on the table. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I think it's a fun discussion to have. And I hope to see a lot of great comments and reasonings below. And if you guys, thanks for watching this. And if you enjoy this video, maybe hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Got a lot more Packers, NFL, film room, whenever Game Pass gets their thing together, and draft stuff coming out very soon. So I hope you guys stick around for those. And I can't wait to unveil the new Packers show that we're going to be doing. More details on that to come. But appreciate you guys sticking around for this. And I hope to see you in the next one. Farewell.